It happens almost every time. A major storm is forecast. A supply chain problem makes headlines. Or people begin worrying about rising prices. Within hours, store shelves start looking different. Not because every food has become unavailable, but because certain pantry staples disappear much faster than others. These are the foods millions of families rely on every day. They're affordable, easy to store, simple to prepare, and versatile enough to be used in dozens of different meals. That's exactly why they often sell out first. If you've ever walked into a grocery store after a hurricane warning, a winter storm, or a period of panic buying, you've probably seen it yourself. The shelves aren't completely empty. Instead, it's the most practical foods that vanish first. People aren't looking for luxury items. They're looking for foods that will feed their families, last a long time, and stretch their grocery budget. In today's countdown, we'll look at 10 pantry foods that could disappear first during a crisis and explain why they're always among the first items shoppers reach for. This isn't about predicting that shortages will definitely happen. Availability varies by location, season, and the type of emergency. Instead, it's about understanding which foods tend to experience the highest demand whenever supply chains come under pressure. By the time we reach number 1, you'll discover the pantry staple that has repeatedly become one of the first foods to disappear whenever shoppers begin stocking up. Before we begin, subscribe to Prepare and turn on notifications for more grocery guides, food storage tips, and practical preparedness advice. Now, let's begin with number 10. Number 10. Pasta. Starting our countdown at number 10. Pasta. It may seem like an ordinary grocery item, but whenever a crisis begins, it's often one of the first pantry staples to disappear. The reason is simple. Pasta is inexpensive. It has a long shelf life, and it can feed an entire family for just a few dollars. When shoppers begin preparing for uncertain times, they're looking for foods that provide the most meals for the least amount of money. Pasta checks every one of those boxes. Another advantage is its versatility. One box of spaghetti or penne can become dozens of different meals. Add canned tomatoes for a simple pasta dinner. Mix in canned tuna or chicken for extra protein. Stir in vegetables. Or simply top it with butter and seasonings. Even with a limited pantry, pasta offers countless possibilities. Storage is another reason it disappears so quickly. Unlike fresh foods, pasta doesn't require refrigeration. It fits easily into kitchen cabinets and pantry shelves, making it simple to buy several boxes without taking up much space. During periods of uncertainty, shoppers often purchase far more than they normally would because they know it will eventually be used. Cost also plays a major role. While prices on many grocery items continue to fluctuate, pasta remains one of the most affordable ways to feed a family. That combination of value and convenience makes it especially attractive during emergencies. Of course, pasta does require water and a heat source to cook. But because it cooks relatively quickly, many families consider it one of the most practical emergency foods available. Prepared shoppers usually don't wait until shelves begin looking empty. Instead, they add an extra box or two during regular shopping trips, gradually building a pantry without creating unnecessary panic buying. Pasta earns the number 10 spot because it's affordable, shelf-stable, easy to store, and capable of becoming dozens of filling meals, making it one of the first foods many shoppers reach for during a crisis. But the next pantry staple disappears even faster. It's packed with protein, requires no cooking, and can provide quick, satisfying meals even when electricity isn't available. Number 9. Peanut butter. At number 9. Peanut butter. Whenever grocery stores become crowded and shoppers begin stocking up, peanut butter is almost always one of the first shelves to look noticeably thinner. There's a good reason for that. Very few foods offer as much nutrition, convenience, and value in a single jar. Unlike many emergency foods, peanut butter requires absolutely no preparation. You don't need a stove. You don't need electricity. And you don't even need cooking utensils. Open the lid, grab a spoon, and it's ready to eat. That convenience makes it especially valuable during power outages, severe storms, or any situation where preparing a hot meal becomes difficult. Another reason it disappears so quickly is its impressive calorie content. A single jar contains enough calories to provide multiple meals or snacks, making it one of the most efficient foods for families trying to stretch their grocery budget. When shoppers are uncertain about how long a disruption might last, foods that provide more calories per dollar naturally become a priority. Peanut butter is also incredibly versatile. Spread it on bread. Eat it with crackers. Mix it into oatmeal. Blend it into smoothies. Use it in baking. Or make simple peanut sauces for noodles and vegetables. One jar can be used in dozens of different ways, reducing food fatigue during longer emergencies. Its shelf life adds even more value. An unopened jar can remain in good condition for many months when stored properly in a cool, dry pantry. That means shoppers don't feel pressured to use it immediately, making it an ideal item to stock up on before problems arise. You'll often notice that when severe weather is forecast, peanut butter disappears alongside bread, bottled water, and canned foods. People know they'll eventually use it, even if the emergency never becomes as serious as expected. Prepared shoppers understand this pattern. Rather than buying 10 jars at once, they gradually build a small supply over time and rotate it through their regular meals. That approach keeps the pantry stocked without contributing to panic buying. Peanut butter earns the number 9 spot because it's shelf-stable, calorie-dense, ready to eat, and incredibly versatile, making it one of the first pantry foods shoppers reach for whenever a crisis begins. But the next item has an even longer history of disappearing during emergencies. It's one of the most affordable foods in the grocery store, feeds a family for weeks, and serves as the foundation for countless meals around the world. Number 8. White rice. At number 8. White rice. If you've ever seen grocery shelves during a major emergency, you've probably noticed one thing. The rice aisle doesn't stay full for very long. In fact, large bags of white rice are often among the first foods to disappear. The reason is simple. Rice offers an incredible amount of food for a relatively low price. A single bag can provide dozens, or even hundreds, of servings depending on its size. When families start thinking about feeding themselves through uncertain times, that kind of value becomes extremely attractive. Another reason rice vanishes so quickly is its versatility. It pairs with beans, chicken, tuna, vegetables, soup, and countless other foods. Even if pantry options become limited, rice can turn a few simple ingredients into a filling meal. Its storage life is another major advantage. When stored properly in airtight containers and kept in a cool, dry place, white rice can remain usable for years. That makes it one of the most dependable pantry staples available. Unlike fresh foods that spoil quickly, rice can sit quietly in storage until it's needed. Cost also plays a huge role. During times of economic uncertainty, shoppers often focus on foods that provide the most meals for the lowest price. Few products can compete with rice in that category. A relatively small investment can create a significant food reserve. Another factor is familiarity. Almost everyone knows how to cook rice. It's already part of countless meals around the world. That means shoppers don't need to learn new recipes or buy special equipment to use it. When demand suddenly increases, stores can struggle to keep large bags in stock. Even if more rice is available in warehouses, it still takes time to move inventory through distribution centers and onto store shelves. That's why empty spaces can appear so quickly. Prepared shoppers usually avoid waiting until a crisis begins. Instead, they buy rice gradually and rotate it into their normal meal planning. That simple habit helps avoid the rush that often happens when everyone tries to buy the same item at once. White rice earns the number 8 spot because it's affordable, long-lasting, versatile, and capable of feeding a family for an extended period, making it one of the first pantry staples to disappear during a crisis. But the next food offers something rice doesn't. It's packed with protein, stores for years, and can be eaten straight from the can the moment you open it. Number 7. Canned tuna. At number 7. Canned tuna. When shoppers begin preparing for a crisis, protein quickly becomes a priority. That's why canned tuna rarely stays on the shelf for long. Unlike fresh meat, it doesn't require refrigeration. It's fully cooked, ready to eat, and easy to store for years in a pantry. Those advantages make it one of the first foods people reach for during emergencies. Another reason canned tuna disappears so quickly is its versatility. You can eat it straight from the can. Make tuna sandwiches. Mix it with pasta. Add it to rice. Top a salad. Or combine it with crackers for a simple meal. One small can stretch surprisingly far when paired with other pantry staples. It's also compact. A week's worth of protein can fit into a small section of a pantry, making it easy for families to stock up without needing much storage space. That convenience becomes especially important when people are preparing for hurricanes, winter storms, or extended power outages. There's also the value factor. While canned tuna costs more than rice or pasta, it provides high-quality protein at a fraction of the price of many fresh meats. For shoppers trying to balance nutrition and affordability, it's an easy choice. During periods of increased demand, even a small change in buying habits can empty shelves quickly. If every customer buys just 2 or 3 extra cans, a store's inventory can disappear much faster than expected. Replacing those supplies isn't always immediate. Many canned tuna products rely on complex processing and transportation before reaching grocery stores, so restocking can take time. That's why experienced shoppers don't wait until shelves start looking empty. They gradually build a supply throughout the year and rotate older cans into their everyday meals. That approach keeps the pantry stocked without contributing to last-minute panic buying. Canned tuna earns the number 7 spot because it combines long shelf life, high-quality protein, convenience, and excellent value, making it one of the first pantry foods to disappear whenever a crisis begins. But the next item is even more popular. It's found in almost every kitchen, used in hundreds of recipes, and when shoppers begin stocking up, its shelf can empty in a matter of hours. Number 6. Canned soup. We're entering the top 6. Canned soup. It may not seem like a food people would rush to buy, but history has shown that it often disappears much faster than expected during emergencies. The reason is convenience. Most canned soups are already fully cooked. All they need is a few minutes of heating. And if necessary, many varieties can even be eaten without heating at all. That makes them especially valuable during power outages or situations where cooking resources are limited. Another reason canned soup sells so quickly is that it offers a complete meal in one can. Many varieties include vegetables, pasta or rice, protein, and broth. Instead of buying several different ingredients, shoppers can grab a few cans and know they have quick meals ready whenever they're needed. There's also comfort. During stressful situations, familiar foods can make a real difference. A warm bowl of soup provides more than nutrition. It offers a sense of normalcy when daily routines have been disrupted. That's one reason families often reach for it before many other canned foods. Storage is another advantage. Canned soup has a long shelf life, requires no refrigeration until opened, and fits neatly into almost any pantry. Because it's so easy to store, shoppers often buy multiple cans at a time. When thousands of people do that simultaneously, store inventories disappear surprisingly fast. Many preparedness-minded families rotate soup through their regular meals. That way, they always have a fresh supply without wasting food. It's a simple strategy that avoids the need for panic buying when bad weather or other emergencies are approaching. Canned soup earns the number 6 spot because it's shelf-stable, filling, easy to prepare, and one of the first comfort foods shoppers stock up on whenever uncertainty begins. But now we're entering the top 5. The remaining pantry staples have repeatedly proven to be some of the fastest-selling foods during crises, and the next one is a simple ingredient that can produce dozens of homemade meals from scratch. Number 5. All-purpose flour. We've reached the top 5. All-purpose flour. During normal times, many shoppers walk right past it without giving it much thought. But when a crisis begins, flour often becomes one of the first baking staples to disappear. The reason is simple. Flour gives people options. With one bag, you can make bread, biscuits, pancakes, pizza dough, tortillas, muffins, cookies, and countless other foods using basic pantry ingredients. Instead of depending entirely on packaged products, families can prepare meals from scratch. Another reason flour sells so quickly is its value. A large bag can produce dozens of servings for a relatively low cost. When grocery budgets become tighter, that kind of flexibility is hard to ignore. Flour also stores well when kept in airtight containers in a cool, dry place. Many preparedness-minded shoppers transfer it into sealed containers to help protect it from moisture and pantry pests. That makes it suitable for both everyday cooking and emergency food storage. Of course, flour works best when paired with other pantry staples like yeast, baking powder, salt, or cooking oil. That's why experienced shoppers often stock those items at the same time. When one baking ingredient starts disappearing, the others usually follow. During periods of uncertainty, many people return to homemade cooking because it's often more affordable than buying ready-made foods. That sudden increase in demand can empty the baking aisle much faster than stores expect. Prepared shoppers avoid that rush by replacing flour before they actually need it. Buying one extra bag during regular grocery trips is usually enough to build a reliable pantry over time. All-purpose flour earns the number 5 spot because it's affordable, incredibly versatile, stores well, and can be transformed into dozens of homemade foods, making it one of the first baking staples to disappear during a crisis. But the next pantry item is even more essential. Without it, many meals become much harder to prepare, and that's exactly why experienced shoppers rarely let themselves run out of it. Number 4. Cooking oil. We're down to the final 4. Cooking oil. It doesn't usually get much attention. Yet when shoppers begin preparing for a crisis, it's often one of the first essentials to disappear from store shelves. Why? Because so many meals depend on it. Whether you're frying eggs, sautéing vegetables, cooking meat, baking bread, or making homemade tortillas, cooking oil is one of the most frequently used ingredients in the kitchen. Without it, preparing many basic foods becomes much more difficult. Another reason people stock up on cooking oil is its calorie density. In an emergency, calories become just as important as variety. A small amount of oil can make simple meals more filling while providing the fats your body needs for energy. That's especially valuable when you're relying on pantry staples like rice, beans, or pasta. Cooking oil is also incredibly versatile. It works with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and baking. Very few pantry items are used in as many different recipes. Because families know they'll eventually use it, buying an extra bottle during uncertain times feels like a practical decision. Its shelf life is another advantage. When stored unopened in a cool, dark place, most cooking oils remain usable for a long time. That makes them an easy item to keep in reserve without worrying about immediate spoilage. As demand increases, shelves can empty surprisingly fast. Even if manufacturers continue producing oil, transportation and restocking take time. A few days of heavy buying can leave stores waiting for their next shipment. Experienced shoppers avoid that situation by keeping one unopened bottle in the pantry at all times. When they open it, they simply buy another during their next grocery trip. It's a simple habit that prevents last-minute scrambling. Cooking oil earns the number 4 spot because it's essential for preparing countless meals, provides valuable calories, stores well, and is one of the first kitchen staples shoppers reach for whenever uncertainty begins. Now we're entering the final 3. The remaining pantry foods have repeatedly become some of the fastest-selling items during emergencies, and the next one is a shelf-stable source of protein that's ready to eat the moment you open the can. Number 3. Canned chicken. We've reached the final 3. Canned chicken. Whenever shoppers start thinking about emergency food, one question comes up almost immediately. Where will I get protein? That's exactly why canned chicken often disappears so quickly. Unlike fresh chicken, it doesn't require refrigeration. It's already fully cooked, and it's ready to eat the moment you open the can. That combination of convenience and nutrition makes it one of the most valuable pantry staples during a crisis. Another reason demand rises so quickly is its versatility. Canned chicken can be mixed with rice, added to pasta, stirred into soup, used for sandwiches, stuffed into tortillas, or turned into chicken salad with just a few simple ingredients. One can create several different meals, helping families avoid eating the same thing every day. Storage is another major advantage. Canned chicken fits easily into a pantry, has a long shelf life, and doesn't depend on electricity to stay safe. During hurricanes, winter storms, or extended power outages, that's exactly the kind of food people want to have available. There's also the convenience factor. Preparing raw chicken takes time, refrigeration, and proper cooking. Canned chicken eliminates all of those steps. When time, fuel, or electricity is limited, that convenience becomes incredibly valuable. As more shoppers begin adding a few extra cans to their carts, store inventories can shrink quickly. Even though manufacturers continue producing canned chicken, processing, packaging, and shipping take time. That's why shelves sometimes stay empty longer than shoppers expect. Prepared families usually avoid buying large amounts all at once. Instead, they slowly build their pantry over time and rotate older cans into everyday meals. It's a simple approach that keeps supplies fresh while avoiding the last-minute rush. Canned chicken earns the number 3 spot because it combines long shelf life, ready-to-eat convenience, high-quality protein, and incredible versatility, making it one of the first pantry foods to disappear during a crisis. Only 2 foods remain. The next pantry staple has been trusted for generations because it's inexpensive, highly nutritious, and provides one of the best values in the entire grocery store. Number 2. Dry beans. We've reached the runner-up. Dry beans. If you've ever wondered why the bean aisle looks picked over whenever people begin stocking up, the answer is simple. Few foods offer more meals for less money. Whether it's pinto beans, black beans, kidney beans, or navy beans, a single bag can provide dozens of hearty servings. That's why experienced shoppers almost always include them in their emergency pantry. Another reason dry beans disappear so quickly is their impressive nutrition. They're naturally high in protein, rich in fiber, and filling enough to become the main part of a meal. When combined with rice, they create a simple, affordable combination that has sustained families around the world for generations. Dry beans also have an excellent shelf life. Stored in airtight containers in a cool, dry place, they can remain usable for years. That makes them one of the most dependable long-term pantry staples available. While they do require soaking and cooking, many shoppers are happy to make that trade because of the amount of food they provide. One inexpensive bag can feed a family for days. Value is another major factor. During periods of uncertainty, shoppers naturally focus on foods that stretch their grocery budget. Dry beans consistently rank among the lowest-cost sources of protein in the store. That's difficult to ignore when prices are rising. As demand increases, even well-stocked stores can see their bean aisle empty much faster than expected. When thousands of customers each buy 1 or 2 extra bags, supplies disappear quickly while new shipments are still making their way through the supply chain. Prepared shoppers rarely wait until that happens. They build their pantry gradually, adding a bag during regular grocery trips and rotating it into everyday meals. That simple habit keeps their food supply ready without contributing to panic buying. Dry beans earn the number 2 spot because they deliver outstanding nutrition, exceptional shelf life, remarkable affordability, and enough servings to feed a family through extended disruptions. Only one pantry food remains. It's affordable, incredibly versatile, stores for years, and whenever a crisis begins, it's often the very first staple shoppers race to buy. Here's the final section in the same shorter style. Number 1. White rice. We've finally reached number 1. White rice. If history has taught us anything, it's that whenever people begin preparing for uncertainty, white rice is one of the first pantry staples to disappear. Whether it's a hurricane, a major winter storm, a supply chain disruption, or rising grocery prices, large bags of rice often sell out surprisingly fast. The reason is easy to understand. Rice delivers incredible value. One bag can provide dozens of meals while costing far less per serving than most packaged foods. For families trying to stretch their grocery budget, that's hard to ignore. Rice is also one of the most versatile foods you can buy. Serve it with beans. Mix it with canned chicken. Add canned tuna. Pair it with vegetables. Or simply season it with butter and spices. No matter what's left in your pantry, rice usually works with it. Its shelf life is another reason shoppers trust it. When stored in airtight containers in a cool, dry place, white rice can remain usable for years. That makes it ideal for both everyday use and long-term emergency storage. Although it requires water and a heat source to cook, the payoff is enormous. A relatively small amount expands into several servings, allowing one bag to feed a family far longer than many convenience foods. That's why experienced preppers often build their emergency pantry around rice first, then add protein, vegetables, and other essentials afterward. When thousands of shoppers all decide to buy an extra bag at the same time, shelves can empty in hours, even if more inventory is already on the way. That's exactly why waiting until a crisis begins is rarely the best strategy. White rice earns the #1 spot because it's affordable, long-lasting, incredibly versatile, and provides more meals per dollar than almost any other pantry staple. The foods that disappear first during a crisis usually have one thing in common. People use them every day. They're affordable, easy to store, and provide dependable meals when life becomes unpredictable. The best time to prepare isn't after shelves begin to empty. It's during your normal grocery trips. Adding 1 or 2 extra pantry staples each week is often enough to build a reliable emergency food supply without putting extra pressure on your budget. Preparation isn't about expecting the worst. It's about making smart decisions before they're necessary. If you enjoyed today's countdown, subscribe to Prepper Pulse and turn on notifications. Every week, we share practical food storage tips, grocery savings, and preparedness strategies to help you stay one step ahead. Thanks for watching. Stay prepared, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.